Hi, I'm Radio's Garrett Michaels. You probably know me from my time here on the camera with Beer for Breakfast ABV. And with me is the Beer for Breakfast ABV crew. We have Danielle from Mornings on 91X, Paul Segura from the Karl Strauss Brewing Company, and joining us today from Eppig Brewing in North Park, we have Nate and we have Clayton. And I gotta tell you, if we look a little beat up, it's because it's the middle of Beer Week. San Diego Beer Week, a beer week so great, it requires more than a week, and we are only halfway there. We have a lot of stuff coming up this week. We've been out and about. We had Guild Fest over the weekend. We were hanging out at O'Brien's yesterday, and we have so many other places we're going. And of course, this weekend we have Collab Palooza, which is going to be awesome in the parking lot behind the observatory in North Park, and we're stoked to have you guys here because you participated in Collab-a-Palooza, collaborating with several folks. Resident, I believe, right?
Yep.
And then the Lost Abbey as well, and we're going to taste one of those beers and some of your fine beers. But guys, we're excited to have you. Congratulations, by the way, on a one-year anniversary, right? Coming up this month.
Yeah.
Coming up in November.
Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you.
You guys have been killing it for a year.
Been an exciting year.
So give us a little backstory on Eppig.
Eppig, the family, were German immigrants who, in the 1860s, moved from Germany to Brooklyn, New York. They opened lager breweries there that grew and expanded into two separate breweries, both Joseph and Leonard Eppig. They made lagers for the greater Manhattan, Brooklyn area, and were in business for about 70 years, all the way up to and through Prohibition. They made it all the way through Prohibition, but during that time they were dealing with some nefarious characters, rolling beer barrels out the back door. And when Prohibition came to an end, those same characters said, "Thanks so much for all your help. We won't need your services anymore." And the family lost everything. So fast forward a couple generations, the family went on and did other professions, but always remained very close to their story. They've got a lot of old bottles and journals, and knew that they'd come from a long line of brewing history, which if you've ever met a German who's a brewer, they're very proud, and it can be generational.
Looking at me.
we had,
So you guys brought sexy back.
I met Stephanie Eppig's husband through a mutual friend, and both Nate and I were brewers at Ballast Point, and he's like, "You have got to hear my wife's story," which was that story that I just told you. And it looked like a great opportunity to create a new brewery that can focus on something maybe a little different than some breweries are, and that's lagers. We brought a couple lagers here today. And we always, in our tasting room in North Park, have 5 or 6 lagers on, as well, of course, IPAs and sours and stouts, all the styles. Yeah. But just something a little, our kind of niche where we can be a little bit different than what we're seeing on a day-to-day basis out there.
Cool. I'm excited to get into these. I mean, as you say, it's San Diego. There's tons of IPA everywhere and tons of great beer, but there really does not seem to be a lot of this style. So I'm awesome. I think it's awesome you're doing these, and we should get into these because these are very drinkable beers. So what's first up?
First one's the Pilsner. It's basically our take on the more Bavarian style. So it's as opposed to the Bohemian, which is going to be a little bit sweeter. So ours is kind of the super clean, super dry and crisp, pretty much perfect for San Diego weather drinking.
Nice. I salute you guys for brewing a Pilsner.
We didn't brew one initially right as we opened. We felt that was a style that we saw occasionally from our friends at other breweries. So to establish some street cred of a company that had never been here before, we chose to do some other styles that, and then for Beer Week coming up, we wanted to come out with a style after about a year and say, okay, we've shown that we can make these other styles, but now we can go to the Pilsner. So, well,
right on.
Only if
I've
you
been
sign
saying
off
for
on
a
it.
long time, it takes more skill as a brewer to make these styles of beers
Into it.
nicely and
Cheers.
consistently.
Cheers.
Smells hoppy.
Oh, it's really clean.
Oh, wow.
I bet you guys are making a lot of converts with this beer. This is seriously good. It's got a nice malty nuttiness, bready, toasty, and then it finishes nice and hoppy.
Yeah, it's 100% German malts and German hops. We threw a real, in the Whirlpool, a classic like Tettnang in the Whirlpool, but mixed it with a newer one, Huell Melon, which kind of is a nice little fruity twist on it. So not the spicy note that a lot of people might be used to, but it's a little bit softer.
Huell Melon has that sort of honeydew-like flavor, right? Honeydew melon. I like that hop. Combined with Tettnanger, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
This is really nice, man. I can drink a lot of
No
this.
filters.
No filter, and you got it this clear.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Love and time.
God, this would have been perfect when they had those like 5 days where it was 103 degrees out there.
Right.
This would have been perfect.
Yes. Well, San
you're right.
Diego's like summertime year round.
Yeah, I was going to say, this is a perfect beer for San Diego year-round, man. This is fantastic.
A lot of the styles that we make, the word that you used is my favorite word, clean. Typically also fairly dry, kind of across the board. We talk about beers, we design beers that can be drank in a beer garden. We want to sit outside in San Diego, we want to drink beer outside, and when the new tasting room opens in Point Loma, it's going to be a brick waterfront beer garden, that doesn't really exist anywhere, and the styles of beers that we make are meant to be something that you can kind of session.
Steinable.
Steinable, They don't have to be the highest in alcohol, although we do make some stronger stuff. We want beers that people can have conversation and sit outside and get sunburned and drink lighter styles
Probably
of beer.
what it was like prior to Prohibition when the Eppig family was brewing
That's right.
beer on the East Coast.
So when is this location you speak of hopefully opening?
Very soon. It's under construction. We are literally waiting to put the finishing touches on it. So I'd love to give you a hard date of say 1 month from now. But the building's there, furniture on order. So hopefully we'll be here in the next month or so.
I'll look forward to going down there and drinking tons of this, man.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
great.
We'll make some noise and let everybody know.
Great beer.
I'd say I want some more of that, but we have another beer to get to, so.
That's very gillable and quaffable, crushable,
Lively.
and nateable.
Right in the face.
So what's the pills coming at, about like 5% or so?
Yeah, 5-1.
Okay.
Yeah.
Perfect.
You're gonna go home smelling like a brewery.
Won't
What
be
else is
the first,
new?
Won't be the first
Like, what
time.
else is new?
So this is our
much.
Smuts Beer. It's German black lager. Once again, all German malt and hops. This one it's a really good convert beer for people because they're like, oh, I don't like dark beers. They're too heavy or something like that. Well, this one is still super light, super crisp and clean, just a touch of roast on it. So it's a really awesome session beer because it's 4.9%, but has tons of flavor and tons of character.
Danielle likes to say, don't drink with your eyes.
Actually, I like to copy you when I say that. But
So even though it looks like ominous and dark,
I don't know, man.
I don't know. I can't see
That's
you.
quite beautiful, man.
so Schwartz
Look at that.
means black in German, does it not?
Yep.
So may the Schwartz be with you.
And also with you.
And also the cheers. The body takes people by surprise. They see the color and are intimidated
wow.
and thinking
Yeah.
it's going to be heavy.
Right.
Dude, this is fantastic. Wow.
Dry,
toasty.
it's light. A lot of our styles, we actually lean on the higher side of carbonation too, just because that's what we like. And so it's got a nice, crisp, refreshing carbonation to it as well.
Yeah, I tell people, lagers can be just as light and dry and crisp as ales or vice versa, or dark or whatever.
There's a long-standing stigma of when people were growing up knowing that the big three were what lagers were, and those come from a certain style, kind of like what the Pilsner was. Yeah. But it's sort of reintroducing people to styles that go, it doesn't have to be heavy and weigh on your tongue and sit there for the rest of your day. You can have a beer at lunch and it's crisp and dry and it's gone
Right.
right afterwards.
So this comes in at 4.9%. I mean, that's right in the wheelhouse if you want to have several in a sitting, in a sesh.
Yeah.
Why
Right.
not? We live to sesh.
It's got a nice cocoa-like flavor that's kind of finishing on my tongue there. But I've only had one sip. I think I need to drink a little more.
I think you do.
This beer's had some good luck for us. We've won, we're very new, but we're happy to get any accolades you can get. And we won a silver at San Diego
think so.
with this.
Awesome.
And a silver at the California State Fair with this one as well.
Good job on
Perhaps
this.
a bronze. And so
It's really hard to get the color that dark without the roasty flavor. It's not really roasty or chalky or anything.
Yeah,
It's,
no acrid flavor.
no.
And there's no
Doesn't
silly,
finish
no
the
silly
flavor.
additives, no Cinnamar. It's all,
Yeah.
it's all grain, baby.
Wow. See, that's even trickier to do without Cinnamar.
Yeah.
This is a beautiful beer. I really like
What is
this.
Sedamar?
Cinnamar is like a liquid, dark powdered. Well, back in the day we used to use black malt, which was like powdered black malt, and just whisk it and add hot water to it. Now they've got this stuff called Cinnamar, which meets the German purity laws.
It's malt-based.
It's a malt-based sort of black powdered
They use it
malt
to make
that's
beer
been
darker.
liquid. Yeah.
Oh, so it's literally just to make it darker.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh.
It doesn't really add a lot of roastiness or
Well,
color.
why would you do that?
In Germany, there's big breweries that you've heard of that they'll have a light beer and they'll have a dark beer, and that one's just got Cinnamar in it.
Really?
So there's like no
it's
reason.
technically not against the rules because it is malt-based. Right. Mm-hmm. Well, San Diego, we do it better here.
I love that.
They brew from scratch. This is good.
Damn, this is good. All right, I'd say I'd have some more of this too, but we got to get to the collaboration beer because we have Collab Palooza coming up on Saturday. Yes, as if you didn't have enough to do and enough places to go for San Diego Beer Week, Collab Palooza happening Saturday in the parking lot behind the observatory in North Park. Paul, tell us a little bit about this. I mean, because you were deeply involved. You did several collaborations. I mean, Carl Strauss is basically hosting this.
Yeah, so we thought it would be cool at Strauss to sort of celebrate this feeling of collaboration and camaraderie that's existed in San Diego
Very
for
San Diego
a long time.
yeah.
We all kind of collaborate a lot anyway, and there's never been sort of a collaboration festival. So we said, wouldn't it be cool to do that during Beer Week and really encourage, great brewers around town to collaborate with each other the way these guys have done with Resident and Lost Abbey, and then bring that collaboration beer to, the observatory on Saturday from 1 to 5 and drink a bunch of beer together and celebrate this cool thing that's, going on here in San Diego.
We're going to hang. We'll be there as well. This is going to be a great time. So you did yourself, you were involved in 6 collaborations, right?
Yeah.
So
So
who'd
one
you
of them
pull?
was kind of with the Brewers Guild. The Brewers Guild is now celebrating 20 years in San Diego. So anybody who was brewing beer in San Diego 20 years ago was invited to collaborate with each other. So there were, 5 or 6 breweries or so, maybe a couple more.
How did you decide on a style for that?
We were all just emailing each other. So it was Stone and Carl Strauss and San Diego Brewing Company, Coronado, a bunch of us old guys, and we were just going, let's make a San Diego Style IPA using locally grown hops from Star B. That would be pretty cool. And we did that at Coronado. And so that's going to be at Collab-A-Palooza. Additionally, there was, we did one with Bagby Brewing Company.
Always a good
with
time. Did he wear the pants?
Amplified.
He didn't wear the pants.
He only wears the pants at
At GABF?
competitions to bring him. Those are his good luck pants.
Jeff, those
pants.
are some spectacular pants that Jeff Bagby has.
Yep,
Yeah.
Spicy J bags. We love those pants, man.
Right there.
Let's see, who else? Nickel Brewing Company, brewed with him. The Amplified guys, and Ray at Fall came in and brewed a batch with me. So there's going to be some fun stuff.
Well, the thing that I found fascinating as you were telling me is you've known these guys for so long, but you've never made a beer with any of them.
Right, yeah.
So this was your first time
Really?
getting to make a beer with these guys.
So I brew with
that's
the Amplified
cool.
guys all the time. That's kind of ho-hum now. No, I love you guys.
Meh.
But yeah, I've never brewed with Ray. I've known him forever. I've known Tommy and Jeff for over 20 years and never got a chance to brew with those guys. So it was really cool hanging with them and brewing.
What's that like, by the way? I mean, do you guys, is it all business or is there a lot of, fun going on when you're doing it? I mean,
There's a lot of sexual innuendo. There's a lot of drinking on the job.
There's drinking going on?
Well,
Really?
I mean, absolutely.
Unbelievable.
Absolutely.
When you started brewing 20 years ago with all these guys, it was all incestual and you all came from the same breweries. Carl Strauss was a big source of where a lot of people came from, Pizza Port and the Ballast guys.
Stone, yeah.
Absolutely, and you all have known each other. When did collaborations really start being a thing? Because in a sense, you guys all knew each other back then, but the trend of a collaboration seems to be very popular in, I don't know, the last year, a couple of years?
Yeah, I don't know why it's suddenly kind of just blown up the way it has,
Yeah.
because we have been friends forever.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a head scratcher.
I like it. It's
You
kind
know,
of fun,
I've
fun
seen
to go hang.
collabs happen every once in a while. I mean, one of my favorites was Bagby and Nickel collaborating, and they called it Nickel Bag.
Yeah.
That was a great beer, actually, too. That was at Pizza Port. So you see them kind of happening every once in a while, but there was never been sort of a single event like this that's brought it all
Brought it all.
together. And I like it because guys that wouldn't, normally do it are doing it. And like you guys brewing with Craig and Robert, and it's just bringing people together that might not otherwise come together. And I dig seeing that. So there's going to be like over 30 breweries. Each one's going to bring a collaboration beer that they made with somebody else. And they're going to bring we've encouraged them to bring another special beer.
Right.
In the case of you guys, you've done 2 collaborations, so
Right.
you're bringing both of those. It's just going to be a good time.
Yeah, we were lucky enough
Absolutely.
to brew with Steve and TK from Lost Abbey as well as Robert and Craig from Resident. And so our 2 beers are both special, and those guys are all working a ton of hours. We're working a ton of hours, and this is the only real reason sometimes we get an excuse to go see each other and be at each other's breweries. So I appreciate you guys having.
So I've got to ask
having
you,
it.
while you're talking about being at each other's breweries, I've always thought you learn more from talking to other brewers and like seeing the particular challenges at their brewery than you learn through any textbook. Or was that your guys' kind of experience with this whole thing too?
Absolutely. A wise man once told me, you always learn from your brew daddy. Whoever taught you how to brew, that is the stone in which you write your rules of brewing, and that's law. And then you go see another brewery, and they may do the same process in a different fashion. And if you can be open-minded, you can go, hey, if I ever have a problem, maybe I can work it that way instead of the way that I've always done it. Otherwise, if you run into a roadblock your own self at your own brewery, you might not have the vision to see other ways of solving a problem. Yeah. So always looking at what other people are doing, seeing what they're doing well. Oh, wow, that's a cleaner, better way of doing a process, or worse. And, we all have those. I'm sure we could make certain parts of our brewing process better, and then we could come to your place and go, oh, there's the wise man who's been doing this for 20 years. That would either save me time or be more efficient, because, we're always about being efficient. So getting into another guy's brewery in their element and seeing how they're doing things is a great way to learn. Especially sometimes they're doing things they don't even know they're doing, and we pick up on it and we're like, oh, what is that?
Yeah.
What was that you just did? I'm like, okay, write that down.
Yeah.
So, which is another great reason that we're able to collab with.
So you guys both kind of cut your teeth at Ballast Point, right?
That's right. Yep.
Who were the brew daddies there?
Well, we met at Scripps Ranch. We met on the bottling line. We both left other careers and were like, we're gonna get jobs for $8 an hour, and
It's like radio.
couldn't have been happier. And we were able to learn under James Murray and Colby. Then for me, Aaron Justice, as well as him, as he was our boss, and really great minds that have solved a lot of big production breweries, because we were there, it was 40,000 barrels, then it was 80,000 barrels, 120,000 barrels, and so on and so forth. And a lot of stuff breaks when you have that growth, and it's only 6 or 7 guys that are the whole brewing team, and the problems that you solve there are less applicable necessarily on our tiny little system now, but as you grow, you're like, oh, I've seen that, and it's not a problem anymore. You're like, oh, we have a way to work around that.
It's better to learn on somebody else's dime, right, than at your own brewery now.
Some of the most intense training that you could have probably ever had, I would say, and with a team of super passionate people. So.
Well, within a year, you guys have made a name for yourselves in a really mature, saturated beer market, man. And it's no accident. You guys know what you're doing.
Yeah. We sometimes joked about opening a brew pub in Kansas City, but the beaches are for shit. So.
Yeah, the surf sucks there.
Yeah.
That's awesome.
I'm going to mention that the next time I talk to my friend in Kansas City.
There might be good snowboarding,
Yeah, maybe. So Palooza is this weekend, and I know that everybody's got a ton of other things that they've already looked at for Beer Week, because there are so many things going on in San Diego. But if there's one event you absolutely can't miss this weekend, it's Palooza. It's going to be awesome. So many great collaboration beers, so many great San Diego brewers. We're all going to be hanging out. And of course, Saturday, parking lot, Observatory, North Park. Get your tickets. You can get them at carlstrauss.com.
That's correct, yep.
All right, great.
I believe it's $40, and the proceeds go to the North Park Main Street Association,
Very
which
nice.
is bringing up the community in North Park, taking care of that, and the San Diego Brewers Guild is the other recipient.
Rad. All right, so let's get into the collaboration beer. I know you guys did too. The one we're going to get into is the one with Resident.
That's right.
All right, so
I'm ready to
I
rock
guess
this.
Do I get the honors?
Do it. Maybe it'll blow up in your face
Really,
this
it's my
time.
turn. Here we go.
So classic West Coast Pale Ale, 5.8%, 100% Vienna malt for the base.
Wow.
And then we did Centennial, Amarillo, and some Idaho 7, which I had never worked with before. It was pretty nice. So it's got some nice melon notes going on, some kind of peachy and lemony things. It's a cool beer, especially with the grain bill just being all Vienna. I like.
So Scott Blair, if you're watching or listening, you've been asking me if I've ever brewed with 100% Vienna malt. Now you can taste it. Go to either one of these two breweries and try it. So I'd imagine the malt side of this, without even smelling it or tasting it, it's going to be nutty, biscuity, slightly toasty.
It's surprisingly light, to be honest. Like,
Really?
yeah. I mean, just look at the color.
Ooh, that is really nice looking, man.
Paul, no filter.
No, you guys are getting bright beers without a filter. That's really cool.
Man, I love the nose. on this.
Amazing.
13 days.
Let's go. Cheers. I
getting
want to drink this damn thing.
Let's drink. Yeah.
You guys can sit there and look at it and admire it. I want to drink it. There we go.
Idaho 7s.
Ooh.
What would you say the trade perception is on that hop?
It's one of the sexy new ones, to be honest. Like I said, I'm not familiar with it at all, but Craig was like, "Hey, we got a box," and I was like, "Bring it. We want to put something in there."
So when you guys are doing these collaborations, do you ever find like creative differences that you're just like, no, like I really want this malt or I really want this hop, or and the other brewery's like, no, like I don't like that hop. Like, do you find these creative differences?
I'm sure that can happen, but it's usually so exciting to be working with people. People approach it with a pretty open mind. There are some dedicated hardcore scientists out there that are probably set in their ways. But we're all friends and we know each other, and it's sort of, we go into a real loose, like what are we feeling like? Or what do you guys do that's better than we do, or vice versa? What can we bring to the table? So far it's been...
Well, one of the things is, what haven't you made or would be excited to make? Like, we only have 5 tanks at our brewery, and so we're making lagers, we're making IPAs, a few other styles. So if, let's make some sort of weird English beer, something like that, something we never would make otherwise. That's when I have the most fun.
That'd be a good name for a beer. Weird
English beer?
Yeah, put that on the label. Yeah. By the way, I laugh because I'm looking at is that really the name? You Got a Problem?
Yeah.
Yeah, there's a story about that.
What's the story?
So if you've ever been a resident, they're right on, I want to say C and 4th, I think right on the corner.
Right near the trolley tracks.
That's right. It's that part of C Street where you can't drive. It's only the trolley.
Yeah.
So it's warm in a brewery. We've got burners and hot liquor tanks that are always heated up. So you got to open up the doors, and they have kind of old business fronts. They have these swing open doors. Well, they don't have like a chain or a barrier, so they just take a milk crate. And it's literally down in the doorway. And I asked Craig, I was looking at it, I was like, what's the milk? Craig, what's the milk crate? He goes, oh, it's kind of like having our chain there. So we're going through the whole brew process. We're there most of the day. And I hear, while I'm not looking, I hear, you got a problem? And I turn around, and there's a gentleman standing in the dead middle of the brewery who is not wearing dicky pants and boots, who is not wearing an Eppig or a resident shirt. He's got his luggage with him. He looks a little disheveled, and he's walked right up to Craig and is saying, you got a problem? And we all kind of turn and look. Hello, can we help you? He was just a gentleman who, took a wrong turn for the trolley. I think he was looking for the trolley, I'm not sure. And he had his luggage with him. And
so he picks out the smallest guy, Craig.
Exactly.
He's calling him out.
We kind of turned to him. Hey, is there anything can we help you with? And he said something about he really likes beer, and can he have any of what we have? And we explained that unfortunately in brewing, often what you have in this room is none of it's finished. This is not done. Yeah. And I asked him, had he seen the milk crate? And he said, yes, I've seen the milk crate. Well, clearly, delineates the outside from the inside. And if you could please kindly see your way to the exterior,
the barrier.
Your trolley will be here momentarily. And so the rest of the day, there was a little bit of that, wow, that just happened. And
I like it.
Can you pass me the stir or whatever? You got a problem? So it just kind of stuck.
Excellent. I like it.
Yeah.
So you'll be able to drink this beer on Saturday at Collab Palooza. Guys, what a pleasure to have you here. Nate, Clayton, the co-founders of Eppig Brewing, and honestly, 1 year old. Congratulations on that. Terrific beers. Seek them out and look forward to your new place opening up.
Cheers, gang. Thanks for having us. It's a pleasure.
Yeah. That's it. I'll see you this weekend. We'll see you everywhere. We're going to be out. It's Beer Week.
May the Schwartz be with you.
And also with you. Cheers.